a lake, and this lake is where I'm parked, 80 miles from Santa Fe, and I'm still parked out here by this lake.
Welcome back to Real2Real. Today we got episode 9. My name's Alex. Joining me as always, Joey Samidi and Kevin Ramsamy. What's up, boys?
What's up, dude?
What's up, Dargay?
Today we have a special guest, buddy of mine, Josh Banaszak.
Thank you very much, boys. Appreciate you having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is going to be a really funny podcast because every time I hang out with Josh, there's always laughs, and I freaking love laughing. So today we're peeling back Banaszak.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, my God.
Damn, that was fire.
Now the bar is set too high, so if this episode sucks, it will suck.
Yes.
All right, Josh. So who are you, man? What do you do?
Well, where do I start? I'm a red-blooded American. No, I'm a civil engineer. I live in Cleveland. I've lived there my whole life. I do stand-up on the side, a little bit of a comedian. I'm a dog owner, dog dad, if you will.
What kind of dog?
Mini sheepadoodle. Named Tony. Tony Paprano. Tony Paprano, named after Tony.
Dude, that's awesome.
From The Sopranos. I have never seen an episode of The Sopranos, but I've always wanted to watch The Sopranos. So I named my dog that in hopes that I would one day watch it.
I've always loved when people name dogs after like real names that shouldn't be dog names.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
Correct.
like Jason or like Jared.
You're so much funnier.
Yeah.
He's a hit. He's got a buddy named Bentley in the dog park in our building. Good guy. He's got Louie. It's another buddy of his. And then Chubbs. Chubbs is a cool guy. That's why I was late today, actually. He was playing with Chubbs a little too long in the dog park.
Nick Chubbs.
Named after Nick Chubb. It's this little fat bulldog. Nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
glad
like
you had
if
to
you
grow.
name a dog Chubbs, it needs to be a pit bull or a bulldog.
It's got to
One
be
of the
chubby.
two.
No, and
Yeah.
it's got some girth, you know.
Some-
It's got
some
some girth. Not the longest dog in the world, but definitely, you know, it's wide, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. Josh, how long you been doing the comedian stuff?
I started when I was 19, 20. Started in college. I've been doing it for like past 5-ish years now. Been doing it mainly in Columbus. Well, I started mainly in Columbus at Ohio State. Ohio State had an organization where, you know, students could come and do stand-up. We performed at like bars. We put on like fundraisers for like different frats or the wrestling teams and stuff. We got like a budget every year of like $3,000, and we never used it until the end of the school year. And we would just try and bring some like, you know, C or D list celebrity in to try and like, you know, we would host a show for them. And the biggest name we got is because we had a bunch of other clubs save their money and use it in all on us. We brought Creed Bratton from The Office, so got to open for him. He's a nice guy, very sweet guy.
Creed Bratton, who did he play?
He's the old guy, Creed. His real name is Creed.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah,
Like the assassin or?
No, the '90s band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Yes. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Now I'm here in Cleveland. Been living downtown for like the past couple years, and it's been a lot of fun getting into the Cleveland scene a little bit. I just entered this contest for Keenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live. He's hosting this nationwide talent search thing. And I submitted a video. I got past the first round, and then there was a vote around, and I made it first place in Ohio, first place in the state of Ohio, and then second place in the country out of like 700 comedians. So we're waiting for the live show date announcement, and if we need to put some. Thank you. Oh, that's good. That's
loud as
That's
shit.
loud.
Yeah.
It scared the shit out of me a little bit. I thought it was static at first. But yeah, so that's a big deal. So we're waiting to hear when the live show
What
is.
were those like clips like? Like, what did you have to do to get?
I just submitted a video of like one of
Like
my
just stand-up?
my stand-up clips, and yeah, it went pretty well. So now we're waiting for the live show. Once we get that, then if I make it past that round, then there's one more round, and then I'll automatically get to audition for Saturday Night Live. So
Dude, that's so sick. So where and when is this live show?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
Which kind of sucks because I was like so ready to plug it.
Yeah.
And I was going to like say it like every 5 seconds. But I don't know. So now I'm just going to have to just stay tuned, you know, just stay tuned.
Yeah. How old are you now?
25.
25?
Just turned 25. But I started writing stand-up when I was just 10 years old, actually.
Wow.
Just 10 years old.
Do you have any idols?
Yes. I really like Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was like one of the first guys that I saw do it. And then now, big John Mulaney fan. Love John Mulaney. Just saw him live a couple weeks ago. He performed. Sold out the Q, or the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
The Q.
Say. Yes.
Yeah.
The Gund, some may say, if we're going to go far back. But really like him a lot. Nick Kroll. I'm also... There's a couple like lesser known guys, Sam Morrill, Mark Norman. I got to open for Mark Norman once in college. Nicest guy. He's like becoming famous now. Kind of like he's been on like all like the LA comedians podcasts and stuff. So the better he does, the cooler it looks for me to say, "Oh, I opened for that guy."
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever booed you?
Oh my gosh. I haven't gotten necessarily heckled, but I have bombed. Like bombed. The worst I ever bombed. I had been doing it for like 3-4 months. I thought I was the funniest guy ever. I had like 5 minutes of like barely, you know, any kind of real material. And I came home for winter break, and this company I worked for, or was interning at, they had a Christmas party at the Renaissance Hotel downtown. Really nice hotel. There's like 200 people in the company. They all had their wives and husbands, you know, family with them. And the president of the company had heard that I've been doing stand-up, and she said, "Hey, you want to get up on stage when the band's done and do some time?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love to." And, you know, I had like 2 Jack and Cokes in me. I thought I was going to be the coolest guy ever. I go up there, this is how they introduced me. They said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start doing the buffet line, so please feel free to get up and get some food, help yourself. Also, we have a comedian coming up. All right, give it up for Josh Banaszak." So I go up on stage as everyone else is getting up to leave to go get food. And I just half the people didn't even know I was talking. And then the other half are just sitting there. They're looking at me. And I'm trying to be, I thought it would be cool to try and be like edgy and stuff at the company Christmas party. And it was just, like the front row, there was these 2 guys. They were like, "What is he doing? What is he doing? Is this a speech?" It was a speech. They didn't even know it was like stand-up. And I got off stage, and they got us a hotel room that night. And I was so embarrassed that I didn't even stay at the hotel room. I just my mom and dad picked me up. I went home.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the worst part is like, because nowadays, you know, you have a bad set. It happens to everybody every once in a while. But most of the time, when you have a bad set, I'm never going to see these people again. Who cares? Whatever. I had to go to work with them all the next Monday. And the one guy pulled me aside and said, "Hey, man, listen, dude, I was trying to hear something funny, and I didn't hear anything, man. I didn't hear anything, dude."
No way he said that.
He was one of the guys who was in the band. Like, his band got to perform at the company Christmas party. And he did great. He did a great job. But he said, "I almost brought my trombone out and tried to just play off stage, man. That was just awful." And I was like, "Thank you for that." That was one
So
of the
he's
most...
just absolutely grilling you to your face.
Yes. And I was like, it was actually one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I believe it, man. That was, and it was terrible, dude. I couldn't sleep for like days. I thought about quitting, but I'm glad I didn't. And now, because that one was so bad, like, I don't, you know, silence is fine. You know, silence is fine. I rarely get like heckled, you know, like no one's...
Yeah, when you get like the eyebrows come in, like,
Yeah.
the hell's this dude saying?
I like it when it's dark. I mean, that at the Christmas party, they got all the lights on and everything. I'm seeing everybody's facial expressions. It was terrible. It was awful. But, you know, we're past that. We're doing good now. Yeah, there's a couple really good spots around Cleveland that are really into stand-up. Lakewood is a really big spot for like a lot of the bars and stuff in that area. I don't know what the real estate's looking like out there. A little expensive, I'm sure.
Stupid expensive right now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the up-and-coming stand-up little neighborhoods there's a lot of bars and stuff that have open mics and live shows and stuff. Recommend checking it out, just saying. I recommend, come out to your local Cleveland scenes, just saying. I'm just saying.
So I've always wanted to know, and we probably talked about this before, but when you get heckled, is there planned heckling? Can you do that?
Yes. There's a lot of and here's the thing. I don't try to do it too often because it's hard to. It doesn't look real.
Doesn't make it genuine, yeah.
Yeah, like people could kind of tell if it's fake. This is messed up. But this guy, we might have to edit this out, but I'm just going to tell you the story anyway. There's one comedian, love him to death. His name's Cal Murata. I started doing stand-up with him in Columbus. Awesome guy. He's in Milwaukee stand-up festivals and stuff now. He's open for a lot of big names. He's really made a name for himself. But the one time we were on a show, and he's Japanese, and there was a piano next to the stage. And he said, "Can you play any piano songs to get me, I wanted someone to play the piano and get me on stage." And I said, "I only know, ironically enough, I only know like the chopsticks, He's like, "Do that." And I said, "I really don't want to do that. I really don't. Please don't make me do that." He goes, "No, please do it. It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious." And he's like, I promise you, it's all gonna go fine. And I'll own up to, I'll let him know, I told you to do that. He goes on stage. I do it. The crowd gasps. They look at me. And he grabs the mic and he goes, "What the fuck, Josh?" And I was and I was like, you told me. And he played on for good 30 seconds before he was like, "Nah, just kidding. He's all right. He's all right." But oh my gosh. So yeah, I guess I've even bombed before when I wasn't even the one on stage. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a fun time. I recommend everyone should try it. Everyone should try stand up at least one time. Go to an open mic. And it'll humble yourself. You'll humble yourself real fast.
Go up there without any content or stuff to talk about?
Try and have something. I think everybody's got a good, funny family story or whatever, so.
See, one thing I know about Josh is you're really good at telling stories. You made engineering class fun. We were just sitting there, in physics too, we were just sitting there and Josh would just come up with this wildest story ever about some random physics equation and then everyone would just burst out laughing and it was just the best class ever.
I appreciate that.
I feel like that's what really goes into making some good stand-up comedy because you got to be able to tell stories.
It's hard to make physics fun for sure.
Yeah. And sometimes it was not. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That is for sure. But I seriously think you guys you're comfortable enough. I feel like it's just I'm not selling a house. I'm selling myself. You know what I mean? You guys, it's the same gene.
Yeah.
You're putting on a little show every time you're talking to your clients,
It's very true.
Especially if you go in and you're not serious about it. You're not I'm not going to make a career out of this, so I'm just going to go.
Exactly. Because here's the thing. I just like doing it. I don't mind. I'm not going to get famous for it. I'm just trying to be able to keep doing it. And there's plenty of opportunities out there to just work a good regular job and then still have time to go do that at night.
So when you bomb. I don't know how often you bomb. I don't know what goes into it, but is it usually...
There's enough to have a decent sample size to choose from.
Right, because I'm sure you tell a lot of jokes and some of them don't hit. Is it usually the joke or is it usually the delivery?
That's a good... I don't know. It's probably 50-50 because a lot of times you have an idea that's solid and you want to try it out. So you're testing it out for the first time and it doesn't go well. And then you're like, okay, well, they kind of giggled at this part, so I'll just lean into that a little bit more. Or, they really didn't give me anything, so, okay, I'll try it one more time. But if it doesn't give me anything the next time, then we'll just cut it. So it's 50-50. It's pretty split. It's split, I'd say. But, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like I know a lot of people that are funny, I guess, but they're just shy and, you wouldn't know they're funny until you get to know them. And they probably would do well if they were... enthusiastic and outgoing, but their delivery, they're just monotone and shy and weird. So
some people, that's their thing, though. That's their thing, and it does hit, and, it's everybody's got a different style. And another thing, too, when you first start out, you end up catching yourself, copying, the delivery or just, the kind of cadence of people that you've liked before. So you kind of have to develop, your own voice. So, yeah, that's a little bit about the stand-up stuff. I mean... I think you guys would be good at it. I think you.
I feel like there's a fine line between, you know, offensive shit and just like stand-up nowadays. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. So some people will occasionally ask about like, oh, what do you think of like with all that going on? Like, is it tough? Is it hard out there? And I'm not famous enough for it to be like an issue, you know. Like I said that. I remember the one time I was talking to my brother. I said like, oh, you know, I hope I don't get canceled. And my brother said, whoa, like you need to humble yourself bad. Like you're not even close to be. You have to be on air to get canceled. And so yeah, and it depends too, because everybody has a different kind of style. There are some people where it's like, it just kind of comes down to, are you forcing it, you know? Is it like a naturally funny thing, or are you like, you know, I don't know. It's you got to try it. You got to try it.
I feel like I would try it. I would want to go to a show first. Let me know when your next one is, because I obviously want to go to that. But I feel like I would try it. I'd be terrified. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the number one, like, fear is public speaking. And that goes beyond public speaking, because you're actually up there to try to make jokes.
Do something. Yeah, you're trying to get people to laugh.
That's got to be the scariest thing, like, just telling a random person.
Like, when you said it's, like, there's no way I could do that, dude. Not a chance.
Here's the thing. I think everybody kind of feels that way until they go to an open mic. An open mic is different. It's not a live show. So honestly, you know, yes, please come to a live show. Yes, we'd love to have you. Come check it out. They're great. But there's a difference between like a live booked show with like a host who's got like, okay, there's the feature act, and then there's the next act, and there's the headliner, yada yada. There's a difference between that and an open mic where it starts at like 10 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. There's 30 comedians that sign up for it. You have 5 minutes of stage time apiece. And once it gets to that like 1 o'clock in the morning, and you know, there's like 6 people in the crowd that are there, and everybody there is a comedian. Like there's nobody goes like, oh, I want to see the open mic tonight at the bar tonight. I think that'll be fun. So it's like, it's so, you see these people and you're like, I could come up with something a little better than that. Like it's a totally different environment.
It's like karaoke, like, oh, I could sing better than that piece of crap.
I guess so. I guess in a way, but it's like, it's much more depressing. Picture karaoke, but 90% of the people there are not having any fun. It's because here's the thing: if you can make it past the open mic kind of stage, where you're like, it's very, you know, it's not a very fun environment. And then once you make it past that, and then you start getting booked on like shows and stuff, that's what you do it for. Like that's what it's about. So
I can't imagine something worse than being like someone who thinks they're super funny and just going to their first open mic
and you hear crickets.
And I've seen it, and I mean that was me at first. When I went to my first open mic, I was so scared I couldn't even touch the microphone. Like I didn't even pull the microphone out of the mic stand. I went up there and I stood with my hands by my side, like I was like reciting the Pledge of Allegiance or something. Like it was just horrible. And then nobody laughed. I didn't get anything. And eventually in my head it was just like, it's just like a script. You know what you want to say. Just say your thing, and then you got off stage. But when you kill for like the first time, it's pretty awesome.
I feel like that's good though. You need that like awkwardness to start out too.
And then that's what I think. It weeds people out very fast. It weeds people out very 100%. Fast, because the people who are like who can't hang or can't take it, they will stop. So it's very interesting. It's an interesting thing. I guess it is weird, you know.
It's something you have to do to get better at over time.
For sure, for sure. Like you can't like as much as because I like to try, you know, run lines or whatever in my head or practice or whatever. But there's a difference between talking to yourself in the mirror and like
and
there's a crowd
rather
there.
than a crowd.
There was the one show I had. I had promised myself, I was like, I'm doing some new material, because I was doing like the same set over and over and over again. And I was like, I want to do some new material. I have some funny stuff about some NFTs. This is going to be hysterical. And I went up and before the show started, one of my friends that was in it, I told him, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this new jokes. I promised myself I'll do it. He's like, good, you should really do that. And I said, thanks. One of the ladies on the show, she was 76, 75, and she brought all her friends to the show.
Oh, she has no idea what an NFT is.
So 90% of the audience was people in their 70s.
Grannies.
old people. And so I go up there, and I was like, does anyone know what an NFT is? And they didn't say anything. I was like, all right, well, and then I just went back to the old stuff.
I thought you were going to say you just went back and sat down.
Yeah, that's what I was
No, I had to do something. And I tried to do the NFT joke, and I was like, I'm going through, and they're looking at me. I was like, and I asked this one guy, I was like, I said, I'm sure you have a very diverse portfolio. And it's this old guy in the front. And he's like, I do. You have to. You have to have a very diverse portfolio. I was like, yeah, any crypto in there? And he's like, what? And I was like, all right, I'm sorry.
He's like, shut up.
Exactly, yeah.
How'd you get over that fear?
Really unhealthily at first. I remember just going to the first meeting for this like student org where it was, well, we're going to tell jokes stuff. I was so nervous. I was in my dorm and I had to I took 5 shots of Kamchatka at 3. And the meeting was at 4:30, and I just had to coast it out. I was like, I got fucked up, and I coasted it out. And then by the time I got there, I had a good buzz, and I went up there, and I did my thing, and it went well. And then I remember thinking, oh my gosh, if I become famous, this is going to be a problem. And then again, my brother he's a good guy to have in your corner, because he's like, dude, please humble yourself. You are not going to be famous, but you might have a drinking problem. So it's all good now. Now, I just go up. Once you kill for the first time, once you actually crush, it's oh, I want to do that again. It's not oh, I'm anxious to get up there. You're anxious to just I want to get up there and do that again. I want that same feeling. Because the first time I went on, I did an open mic. I was too scared, hands by the side. But then the first time I killed, I was I tried too hard at the end. I took the mic out of the stand. I started strutting up and down the stage, thinking I was Eddie Murphy or something. Y'all get this, huh? And they're like, all right, you're losing us a little bit. And I was like, all right, yeah, no, I get it. That's my time.
So Josh, one of the main things that we talk about on this podcast is one that we have been talking about, and I feel like we haven't addressed enough positives for this, is the 9-to-5 job or the stable job, right? And you're one of the examples that I thought about when it was you're doing your stable job and you're also finding time to do exactly what you love. So how do you find time for both of these things, and how do you see it playing out in the future? Do you think you can have a good career out of comedy, or do you think you're just gonna do your stable job and this is more like a just passion?
No, that's a good question. Honestly, I just lucked out with my job. There's a lot of people who I went to school with who graduated to be civil engineers as well, and they got jobs at these private firms, and they got a fixed salary. They don't get any overtime, but they're working 50, 60 hours a week, putting in extra work, taking work home because they have all these deadlines to meet and stuff. I got a nice little government job. I manage projects for the county, and so that is it's a strict 7 to 3 or whatever, and I do if I do work over 40, I get overtime. It helps to stay later. I could earn more money that way. But because of that gives me the freedom to kind of pursue this in the evenings if I have a spare night. So I definitely think it comes down to what I wanted to do. I know I wanted to do stand up more than anything. So I knew I wanted to find a job that would let me keep doing that. Mm-hmm. And so, and I'm sure, things might change, where later on down in life, if I, once I have a family and stuff, and I realize I could make more money going somewhere else, and as a private, private sector or something, I think I would definitely consider switching to that. But right now it's just, I think you just gotta, it's a lot of luck. It's a lot of luck if you want to find something where it's oh, I could still make a decent living, but also still pursue passions if it doesn't, especially in my case, when it doesn't intersect. There's no chance to be a comedian while being an engineer, you know what I mean?
I'm sure it changes a lot, but how much time would you say you put into comedy per week? I'm sure week to week it changes, but just on average.
I try and go at least twice a week. I try to. And I try and go on stage at least twice a week, and then try and at least do 15, 20 minutes a day of writing. And it's just little stuff like that where you just kind of keep chipping away at something. And so that way ideally each week I could have one of the 2 sets that I have be something where I'm testing out something new, because that's the hardest part is just cranking out more new stuff. Because once you have something that's good, you want it, like you just like you kind of feel like, oh, I know this will work, so I want to do this, but it works so well until like you start seeing the same faces in the audience, and you're like, I got to mix it up a little bit.
Do you think your engineering background has a lot to do with your methods of creating comedy? Because I feel like that's a very theory application type process, and
for sure, it's so funny. I'm so jealous of all the people that like. I'll go to these open mics and some guy will just, stumble up on stage. He's got nothing and he'll just start pointing at people and like it's hilarious and he's killing and he doesn't even know what he's gonna say next and he's just pointing blah blah blah. I'm very methodical with it because if I bomb, it's like a lot of people when they bomb on stage they're like, okay, I'm just screw it, everything's out the window. I'm just gonna make this up and kill time. When I bomb, I cling to the material harder because then I know I had rehearsed this like a dozen times at my house. I know if I finish this sentence here, it will be 5 minutes exactly and I could get off stage. But the better I do, the more, you'll freelance a little bit. But yeah, no, I'm very methodical with it. Like I'll record because I try and make sure that I hit my time. Because you want to try and make the most of it, too. You don't want to you don't want to finish it like 2 minutes to spare. You want to kind of get the most out of, your time up there. But I'm very, very rehearsey kind of guy,
So do you, like, just randomly throughout the day, I'm sure funny stuff pops in your head. Do you just, like, pull out your notes in your phone and start typing stuff in?
I got the Notes app, which just has, like, it'll just have, like, a headline or whatever, something that I think is funny. And then later I try and write it out in like a notebook or on my laptop or whatever. But yeah, I have those two sections. And the worst is like I'll write something that I thought was funny at the time and I look at it later and I go, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Like I try because I try and go back. I'll see what I could pull up here. That's just. Like
I was wondering that too. Like, do you kind of like
reference.
go off like a story from your past and just kind of expand on that, or is it like a day by day thing where you just kind of, think of something on the fly?
I started out doing a lot of just like stories about like stuff in my past or whatever, or like. But now it's I try and be a little more observational with it. But still, I would say like 80% of the stuff that I talk about is like stories of stuff that's happened to me.
And that's cool that you're critical with that stuff too, because yeah, you could be the guy that just pops up on stage and just starts pointing at people, but like now you're just trying to create like something that's more tailored to your audience and something that's more you, I guess. I think that's great.
It's something I don't know. That's where I'm just more comfortable with it because that's when you start like freelancing and stuff. That's when I'm like, oh, I don't know where this could go. Like, because then I don't know. I'm avoiding the bomb. I try and avoid the bomb.
I feel like I'm similar to you in that aspect where, like, a big kryptonite of mine is, like, not being prepared. Like, I feel like I need to be prepared and, like, rehearsed. Exactly. And when I am, I do extra well. But if I'm not, I do extra bad.
Because there's some days where it's like, you get home late from work and then, stuff happens. And then you got to run out to the show and you're like, and I'll miss practicing whatever. And I'll go up there and I feel like, oh, I missed the whole thing. I wanted to talk about, To go back to real estate, I'm sure there's open houses or showings where you don't, maybe you screwed up, maybe you didn't, maybe you missed the bedroom, maybe you didn't do your research.
Weren't prepared at all.
Yeah,
just winging the whole thing.
But not you guys specifically.
We'll do an open mic at an open house.
Oh,
I wonder how that would work.
That would go.
Wait, that would be sweet, actually.
That would work well, I think.
That's a good idea.
As long as it's not one where like one or two people come through.
No, it'll be like a really hot open house.
Hey, want to hear a joke?
We have people come in.
Here's the thing: if you would have to get them to commit to sitting there for a bit, because the worst is people coming in and out in the
and they're missing half the joke.
Because a lot of people think that they have like, because that's one of the things that does suck about stand up is like you could have like a musician playing guitar and stuff at a coffee house, and they're just you're not even looking at the guy, but it's like, oh, this is just a fun vibe here. But if you have like just a comedian at a coffee house and you're just trying to chat with your friend and this guy's like, hey, so what's the deal with coffee, huh? What are you guys drinking, huh? What's going on? And it's uncomfortable, It's like, and I don't know. There's been a couple times where people are like, oh, you should do stand up here, and it's like,
that doesn't work.
No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. But
that would be a great idea though. If we can get some people to commit, that'd be super cool.
You could make it like an event.
Little mimosas.
Yeah, I could see where if you just do a normal open house, I could see where it goes bad. Just one person in the house at a time, like, hey, you want to hear a joke?
Yeah.
Come here. You just like talking to them, telling them a joke.
One time at school, we had a dorm show where we were performing in the lobby of a dorm during finals week, and it was like a study break thing that we like got booked to do. And I was like, oh, this would be fun. You know, people want to break from studying and stuff. But they put us on one side of the lobby. The other side of the lobby was like study spaces that people were studying in. And there was a guy who was like, what do you do? Like in the middle of the show, what's going on? Thankfully, I wasn't on stage. They were like, what's going on? And we're like, oh, it's a comedy show. It's a little study break. And the guy's like, well, I can't take a break. And this is really loud. And I was like, oh, man, this is terrible. But, you know, it happens. It happens. This is all, you know, you got to, that's one of the things about this. It's got to be in the right spot, right crowd. So many things has to go right. But when it does, it's so cool. It's so fun. It's like closing on a house.
Man, you're good at referring back to real estate.
Yeah. Speaking of real
that
estate,
again?
I feel like there's a lot like realtors could learn from comedians like you because like when they're going and talking to someone new or trying to sell or meet someone new, like there's always resistance. And I feel like a good way to break that is with humor. So
Oh, for
And
sure.
selling yourself too on stage.
Yeah.
What is that like? I want to know what's that like.
That's the most important thing in real estate, man. You're not really selling the house. You're selling who you are. And if they want to follow that, they can follow that. And then once you have their trust, you have their entire life in your hands. Because you're going to show this person their house. Sure, you're selling the house. Like there's some salesy people out there that just sell the house. But if they don't trust this salesman, they're not going to believe a word. Like they're not going to believe anything they say.
So are like the majority of your clients, do you feel like, are they like, they come, so I guess I don't really know how it works. Do they come to you or do they like, they see like an ad or something, one of your, you know, ads or whatever, and they give you a call and say, hey, I want to buy a house, sell a house, whatever. Like, is that?
Usually it's well, for us, it's been really organic lately. So friends of friends, people that we've reached out to already, or, you know, we haven't really done too much reaching out to people to have them come to us. It's more of so, hey, this guy really likes what you guys are doing on social media, or, you know, I just saw you on Facebook. I just saw you post a reel. Hey, let's chat. We kind of like what you're doing.
Okay.
those are the easiest ones.
Content's like what really brings clients to you.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get it. I guess it works. That's how it is for everything these days, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which is why you need to get on TikTok, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Dude,
saying.
I know
TikTok.
Al's killing it. Probably like I said, I think that's, you could probably already, like, if you keep getting like hitting viral TikToks, you could just eventually just make another TikTok randomly that just is like, hey, I'm doing stand up now, and you could even lie and be like, I've been doing it for like 4 years now. It's always been my real passion, so, you know, come check me out, and you will get booked on like tour dates, you know, before I'll see stage time, you know, at a comedy club. Because a lot of these people, that's what they do. They get viral on TikTok, you know, and they get like a couple, you know, some decent bangers, and then they're like, hey, I also do stand up. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, because I don't know, I have a hard time doing like the funny skit stuff that like, I just want to show people my stand up if I am going to post anything, you know? So
I feel like that'll work though. There's plenty of people who just post their content from other stuff and it works.
But the part of the problem too is you got to keep, so like if I post like a stand up clip and it goes viral and people come to my show, it's like I can't even do the viral because it's not even like a music. It's
true.
not like music where it's like, oh yes, we love this song.
Again.
Yes, I want to hear this again. People are like, no, I heard this one already.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why it's like you gotta double up on
Change up the flow.
on the, you know, the stand up
Change up the
content.
flow.
Exactly.
You gotta reserve some of your good stuff for like the actual show.
Exactly, and it's weird. Like some people are like, oh, they save it or whatever. I don't know. I feel like you gotta.
But I feel like you want to post the good
Exactly,
stuff
you
too.
want to post
It's a
the good
catch-22.
stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing, you know.
So if someone were to like, I don't know, hire you for like stage time, how long do they want you to go for most of the time?
It depends. I've done, I've done like just the little 5-minute sets, but I've done, 15, pushing 20 minutes and stuff before, which is fun because you kind of shock yourself when you're like, oh wow, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, because dude, these Netflix guys go for like an hour.
They go for an hour.
They go for an
hour, and I have like usually I'll have like a Post-it note even in my hand that like has just like the little headlines on it, so that way I could kind of know where I'm going if I lose my track. I don't know. There's no way. I don't know. An hour, that'd be a pain, or I don't know how I do that.
Do people steal other people's jokes a lot, or no?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't notice it if it does happen. It more happens with like stuff like TikTok. I feel like people see a funny TikTok and they just reenact it, and literally copy it like word for word. I'm sure there's some real estate guy in Idaho who flipped off the light switches.
I'm sure,
and he's just flopped. Or he got like hate comments.
A lot of mine I've stolen from other people. Like
cut that.
No, don't cut that. It's like they did something funny. I'm gonna play off of that and do it funnier, or do it my way.
And I feel like that is like the way TikTok works and Instagram stuff. It kind of allows stuff like that where it's like, oh, it's just everybody's trying. Because like even with TikTok, where it's like the sounds that people use, it's designed for you to make the same thing but slightly different. Whereas stand-up, it's like, oh, somebody already has a joke like this before, So I feel like stealing is bad. The one show I did see, I was in college. There was this comedy contest at OSU, and there was this kid. 90% of the people that were in the contest were people that were in our club, but there was this like extra group of people there that wanted to try stand-up. This guy goes up there, and he's killing it. I'm laughing. I was like, who is this guy? Why hasn't he been in our club? This guy is hilarious. And then the guy is sitting next to me. He stands up and yells, "That's 3. That's 3." And the crowd gets quiet. And they're like, what? And he's like, "That's the 3rd joke you've stolen from Zach Galifianakis' Netflix special. That's the 3rd joke." In front of like this crowd, like there's like over 100 people there.
He pooped his pants.
And this dude's like, I was so nervous. I just wanted to try and come prepared, but I'm sorry. And he just and he just leaves. And I was like, oh my gosh. And the dude who did it, he was like, I guess there was probably a nicer way I could have intervened.
He just stole the show.
You got a good job. You just ruined his life.
Yeah. And I had never, I hadn't seen him again. So yeah, he didn't join our club, needless to say.
Does anyone get kicked out of the club for like just not being funny? Like, sorry, dude, you're not funny.
No, because it's one of those things where
they just leave themselves.
Yeah, it weeds you out fast. Yeah. Where like if you're funny, it works and you stick around. Or if you're not funny but you really want to do it, like you stick around and then you eventually kind of figure it out. But no, there's definitely some people that are less funny than others. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm the god of funny, because I've definitely not been at times, for sure.
So Josh, I think the looming question here is, when's your next show and where is it? I know we were talking about Kenan Thompson. We don't know about that one yet, but when's your next show?
Next show, I guess I should have had stuff on the books for you guys, but I really have nothing. But there's
some plugs.
There's open mics every day of the week, Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday, in Cleveland, different areas. One of the best spots, or two of the best spots, is there's Imposters Theater in Tremont, which is this little tiny rented out space that they converted into like this tiny little theater. And they actually just got a bunch of money from a Kickstarter. They're moving to Ohio City to make like a 50, 60 person theater, and it's going to have like a bar. It's going to be like an actual comedy club, and people could do improv, sketch, comedy, or stand-up, all that kind of stuff there. That's a really good spot. They have an open mic every Monday. Come check that out. I love doing that one. And then Tuesdays, there's 2 open mics at TikTok Tavern in Lakewood, and then at Judd's, that's also in Lakewood. And they're back-to-back, so you could see both shows if you wanted to see that. And that's, if you wanted to try stand-up yourself, sign your name up, and they'll get you up there.
Let's go Monday.
I definitely want to go and see one. I don't know if I'd get up on stage, but I'd definitely go watch.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, best one to watch probably be Judd's. That's a late one, though. It's a late one.
It's all right.
Once the new theater space gets opened in Ohio City at this Imposters Theater, I think that's going to be a really cool spot, and I think a lot of people are going to want to try and start going to shows there, start trying stand-up and stuff. It's a great great space. People that go there, there's actually, like, I've never seen it before. People will go there to watch the open mic, like just regular, like, you know, people will go there to be an audience member for this open mic. So it's pretty cool.
You said open it up though, so it's not open yet?
The smaller version of the space is still open in Tremont. But once they have the bigger space, I think it's going to be really
Monday?
cool. Monday.
Let's go Monday.
Monday. I could reach out to the lady that runs it and try and get you guys on it. Because you just email her beforehand.
No, not on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'll
Take
shoot
it
her.
easy there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to see one first.
Okay, all right.
Or give me 2 high noons and I'm up there.
Okay. All right, we'll make something happen. I'll let
God,
you
had
know.
me scared there for a second. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Stop.
Put your phone down, bro.
I think,
I'll talk to my lady.
Yeah,
No.
let me check my calendar first, actually.
No.
I think you'd have fun with it.
I think so too.
There was the one night, there was, and you know, usually it's not very jam-packed. This was in Columbus. An open mic's not usually very jam-packed with people. But the one night, it was so many people. It was a bunch of, like, bro-y kind of, like, frat guys. Like, what's the vibe here? The one dude had just lost his fantasy football league, and the punishment was he had to do an open mic, a stand-up open mic.
No shit.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You know what's
That's
funny?
a really good
You know what's so ironic is that we're all on a podcast with like 60 plus viewers right now, yet we can't stand in front of the people and do this stand up.
Well, because you can edit shit out.
That's true.
That's
That's very
You
true.
can edit shit out. Not that you edit a lot out, but
And we're not really watching the people watch us.
I think it could be different.
That's
like,
true. That's true.
Like if we were sitting here and that wall wasn't there and there was 60 people sitting right there, I'd be a little more nervous.
For sure. Plus, like, if I was up there by myself,
Yeah, that's what I was just
Like-
gonna say. Like it's all of us here
And I
right
had
now.
to make
Yeah.
them laugh.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's the biggest part. Like,
yeah.
What
dude.
if you guys could do a live podcast? You know, you've seen those before. You know, that people do that these days now.
but even like just to friends, like if you say something you think's gonna be funny, like your friends, and it's not, it's like, oh damn, no one laughed. And then you like say it again in hopes that they just didn't hear it,
And then they're just pissed off at that point. They're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we heard you."
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
Yeah,
though.
like-
I guess I don't know. I guess there's the difference because for me, I'm nervous about this because I won't know. I'll never know how this went. You know what I mean?
You're not gonna watch the podcast.
Well, no, I'll listen to the podcast, but I won't know what the majority of everyone else thought.
I see.
You know,
Oh,
and then
I
I'm
see.
overcritical on myself anyway. Where like I'll be like, oh, what are you doing? Shut up! Stop talking! I'm still talking.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that today. How or yesterday actually, we're just thinking about like in the moment you're like, well, shit, this point was stupid as hell. Why the hell did I
Yeah,
ask
and then
that
you're in the
question?
middle of saying it, and it's like, oh, these guys are looking at me to finish it. I have to keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still we've only done a few episodes, so it's like we still suck. You've never done a podcast, so
No,
it's like the first draft of
one.
everything.
One.
You've done another podcast?
It was a live podcast. It was the first time I ever got paid to do stand up. So I got $5 in a T-shirt. $5 in a T-shirt. It was for the Ass Out podcast, and I got it's run by these other comedians, and Christian Heredia Bauer is another Columbus comic. Got to give him a shout out.
I thought you were gonna say a Christian club.
Oh no.
like, okay, Ass
no.
Out.
He would laugh at that though. But he had a live podcast, and then they had a comedy show. So they brought each comedian up one by one to do like just 5 minutes of shooting the shit on the podcast, and then they had the comedy show. And I was so nervous for that like I barely even said anything for the podcast. But I got a T-shirt that says "Ass Out" on it. I can't wear the T-shirt anywhere, but it's bright pink. It's good. I haven't spent the
pink, ass out.
$5 yet though.
Dude, once we start getting some good viewership on here, you should definitely come on and just shoot the shit on the podcast. Like we'll just do it like a live Facebook type deal, Facebook, YouTube, go live, and then just,
Oh, there you
you're just
go. You
on
could
here.
do live like that.
That'd be so
good.
fun.
That'd be good.
That'd be so fun to get you on here and do that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be sweet. I have a question. How do people get funnier? It's probably the hardest question.
I guess, yeah, that's like, I don't know. Once I figure it out, I'll let you know. But no, you got to just keep going. You just have to keep trying. It's literally repetition. That's really it,
I have a theory. When you don't care, that's when you're funny as hell. Because when you
There's a
start
bit of that
thinking
too.
about like what people are thinking about you, you're gonna like hold back some of your best jokes just because you
I can
think
agree
someone
with
thinks
that.
it's not funny.
100%.
There has been times where like I'll completely skip over. I'll be nervous and I'll just like, oh, these guys aren't laughing at this. They definitely won't laugh at this. And then I'll skip a whole section.
Yeah.
and go to something instead that I was like, oh, this will be good instead, and then it backfires, So you just got to keep. You got to keep.
A lot of reading
trying.
the crowd, I feel like too.
That's for sure too. I mean,
Reading the room.
the one time we had a fundraiser for like the wrestling club, and I was like, oh, these guys. And I was super nervous. I was like, these guys are gonna heckle us. They're gonna be mean. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. And then in come these guys that are just like, they're jacked. I was like, I'm scared of them. They're gonna bully me. And they were the coolest crowd ever. Shout out to the wrestling club.
OSU.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. Should be getting booked on one of the like the actual local shows. That's an actual show. It's one of the guys runs. He has a really cool. Steve guy runs a really good show at the All Saints Public House in. I don't know if that's Lakewood or Ohio City area on the border there. He runs a really good show. Each comic gets like 8 minutes, and then afterwards, he'll come up on stage, and you'll stay on stage, and he'll give the audience 3 suggestions of 3 stories about a time when that comedian was like an asshole, and the audience has to guess what story is the true story, and then after like the applause voting, you grab the mic and then you tell the story, and you confirm one of the 3 stories about a time where you're an asshole. So that's a funny story. That's a funny time, because it's never what you expect. It's always like the one that you don't expect is the one that's the comedian's story. It's really good. Mine was about the last time. Well, not the last time. Like I do it often, but about a time where I got in a light tussle with a homeless man.
There you go.
Happens often.
No, I said it doesn't.
Oh, it
happen.
doesn't
I
happen
had to
often.
correct myself.
A light tussle.
Yes, I was at the Jack. I left my phone on a slot machine. I went up to grab a drink, forgot it. Oh geez. And my one friend that I was with, I said, "Hey, you have my location. Can you see where it is?" He said, "Oh, dude, it's on East 4th. It's a couple blocks away. It's gone." And then my other friend who was there was like, "Let's go get it." And I said, "Okay, yeah, all right, sure." It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We run out of the casino. We run to East 4th. We're tracking. My one buddy just keeps calling because it never turned off. He just keeps calling. And then the other buddy, he's just checking the location. We get on East 4th. My phone or my Apple Watch reconnects. And so it's like, it's close. It's like somewhere around here. And just then I see a guy wheeling up. He's this guy in a wheelchair. He wheels up to this bartender who's having a smoke break outside on the patio. She's taking a smoke break. And he's like, "Excuse me, miss, can you help me turn off this phone? My friends keep calling me. It's ringing off the hook."
Wait. Sorry to cut you off.
No, please.
A man in a wheelchair.
Correct.
You went to the bar to get a drink.
I was at the casino.
You were at the
Yes.
casino.
Yeah.
You left your phone on the slot machine to get a drink.
Yep.
And a man in a wheelchair stole your phone, rolled out of the casino,
Correct.
and made it to East 4th within that time.
Well, you had to think. I had to wait.
He took an Uber.
I had to wait for the drink. I had to get back to the slot. Finish playing the slots. Check my phone. Like, oh, where's my phone? Then I had to find my friends in the casino. A decent amount of time had passed.
Gotcha.
And then we had to go to security. I asked to check lost and found at the casino.
I thought you just went to get a drink and then
Yes.
your phone.
Meanwhile,
was gone
POV,
within-
he's probably.
Yeah, he's
just
flying.
hauling
He's
ass
flying.
in the wheelchair.
Well, here's the thing too. Well, we'll see. Well, you'll see. So, I go up behind the guy and I say, "Hey, buddy, that's my phone." And he's like, "No, it's not. No, it's not." He's like, "No, it's not." Yeah, and he actually he's like, "Do you have like any change on you or anything?" And I was like, "Whoa, no, dude. Like that's my phone." I was like, "The background is literally it's me and my girlfriend. Like, how do you have that picture on your phone?" And he's like, "It's mine." He like tucks it away. He goes, "It's mine. I found it at the Jack. Like, fair and square. Like finders keepers." I was like, "Dude, no, it's not."
What are we in first grade?
Yeah, and so
That's what he said.
yeah, he goes, it's not.
Oh
It's
my
mine.
God.
Found it at the Jack." And so I was like, whatever. So I just reach in to go take it, and I take it, and we get in a little bit of a tug of war, and he goes to try and bite me, and I throw like an elbow just to create space, He stands out of the chair.
He cracks his knuckles.
He stands out of the chair, and I'm not talking like, hang on a second here. He pops out of that chair. The chair falls over. That's how hard he stands up.
Oh.
And now, like, it was like literally like in the movies where like all this, because it's like East 4th is one of like the hustling and bustling spots downtown. Like, people stopped. Like, it got like quiet, and he kind of had like a look on his face like,
Shit.
oh,
Just expose myself.
Yeah, I just covered blown. And so I'm like, oh my God, like a miracle just occurred. And then he starts saying that he wants to fight me. He's going to beat my ass and everything. And I'm just in awe. I'm just taking it all in. It's not even registering that he wants to fight me. And he's like, he's getting in my face. And I start getting back in his face just out of confusion. Just like, you want to fight me because I took my phone back. Is that what you want? And he's like, yeah, no, I really want to fight you. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I was like, seriously? And I'm like getting in his face. But I was like, why? It's my phone. I took it back. And then my one friend was like, please, let's just leave. Let's just leave. So we just take off running the other way.
Did you get the phone?
Yeah, I got my phone.
Okay.
So we take off running the other way. He starts running after us now.
So this dude in the wheelchair can now run?
Yes.
It's the biggest miracle
Yes,
ever.
it was literally, I've never seen a healing process like that before. He was wheelchair bound, then standing, then running. We're running away, and we're like, is this really happening? And then, we ran back on our way back to the casino, we're running, and these group of guys are like, what's going on? Are you guys okay? And we're like, no, this guy back there, he tried to steal my phone, and now he wants to fight me for it, I guess. And then they see the guy, and they're like, hey, come here, man. I want to talk to you. And then the homeless guy turned around, ran, grabbed his chair, took off into the night. And then I won $100 at the casino.
There you go.
Yeah.
That probably makes sense how he got to East 4th. He just sprinted there and then found a wheelchair there.
Yeah, that makes sense now. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it was an interesting night. I have to ask, though, how do I buy a house?
Yeah, I was going to say,
real.
we need to talk about this real estate
For real.
stuff.
Just
for
even
Josh's own
you
sake.
could edit this out. Just how
Are you
do
just
I,
like teeing this up for us to get some content?
I think he was trying to this whole time.
No, that one I just kept running with the bit there. But I seriously am genuinely curious as like a guy who is renting right now, wants to eventually
What's your rent?
My rent right now is like $1,200 after utilities. It's probably $1,300 after utilities, pushing it.
1,300 after utilities. What's your credit score? Don't even say that. But as long as it's over 680,
It's a good score.
you're good.
It's
You're
a
good for
decent
conventional.
What's your
loan.
credit card number?
Hang on, let me read it out loud. I'll give you guys both.
What's your social security number?
It's
You're gonna need that.
Don't forget the pin on the back too.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, of course. You know what? I'll give it to you guys because I bet a lot of people have these questions too.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you guys the information. You take pictures, throw it up on the Instagram, throw it on the podcast Instagram, and then I think we'll really have
it'll be
something
good.
there.
Yeah, then we'll have a house for you.
You said.
That'll be great. That's it. Oh, that's easy, dude.
Yeah, guys. All you got to do is send in your credit card information, and we'll get you a house.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
That's literally it.
Like we're not even.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You guys don't do that. Some people would actually do that.
So do you guys work with like other? Because there's a real estate agent. You're the agent who's buying or selling, but then usually there's the other one who's doing the opposite. What's that like? Is that like a pain? Is that
No, sometimes
cool?
I mean sometimes it's very cool to have that interaction. Like if they're a cool person, it's a lot. It goes a lot smoother, but it just depends how they are. Like
Okay.
sometimes we'll run into people that are just super sticklers that just don't want to do anything or don't even want to try to communicate properly. They just want to be super strict, super to the books. But
I see.
yeah, so it just depends. And yeah, most of the time we're representing the buyer, especially now. But we might see that change later. But it just you're representing your buyers or sellers' best interests.
Okay.
So I get that.
Okay. So as of lately, you guys have been more
More so buyers.
buying than selling. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's better? What's a better feel? What's a better feeling? Is it the same feeling as like when you close it? It's like, is it good?
Well, it's
I
cool,
would imagine
dude.
it's like it's good, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, when you close, obviously you're making your money, whatever. Your buyers, sellers doing whatever they got to do in their life. But I guess it just depends what you like. So some seller agents or listing agents, they like getting that top dollar for their client, and then some buyer agents like getting their clients good deals. So it just depends what you like, what you're trying to go for. But I mean, there's no harm in doing both.
Okay.
Yeah, it's either both sides are fulfilling because one side it's like, okay, I put a bunch more money in this person's pocket and got them to move on to their next spot.
Nice.
Which usually when they're selling, they're buying too, so it goes hand in hand.
Okay, yeah.
And then
so
if you're working with a buyer, it's like, I just put you in your next home.
Yeah.
I got you, the house that you want, and helped you take that next step.
So when you guys sell, are you usually helping them buy too, or I guess I don't know. Does it just depend?
I mean, unless you're working with someone who has
A second home already.
a second home and they're just offloading an investment property or something, they're usually buying.
Okay.
So usually it's simultaneous.
Or if they're selling or moving out of state, you can refer them an agent in that state.
Okay. Nice.
And you'll get like a 25% referral fee.
Oh, nice.
So-
Cool.
But for your
at least
situation,
get
bro,
one.
if you're renting, like you could always, the first thing that I recommend anyone to do is talk to a lender, see what they're actually qualified for. Because if you're paying $1,300 a month comfortably for this place, you could easily qualify for about like $175, $200 nowadays. So it just depends on the interest rates, but that's always the first step you do. You just talk to a lender and figure out what your financials are looking like. You can even talk to a financial advisor if they advise that too, and kind of figure out where your next 5 to 10 years are and if that would even make sense for buying a house. Because some people, it doesn't make sense. You'd rather just rent for a little bit longer, and then, maybe when your career changes or you're doing bigger things, then you could start looking to buy a house. So
I see.
it just depends.
I see.
Yeah.
When did you, I guess I want to go around and ask, when did everybody decide, oh, I want to do real estate? Because I knew you went to school for to be entrepreneurial something, right?
Yeah, sales.
Yeah, so that's a decent bridge right there. You went to be like a pilot, chemist, firefighter.
Dude, I was all over the place.
You were
I went to Bowling Green because of the pilot school, but then I didn't want to do pilot school, so I did criminal justice instead. Planning on going to the military, but then I decided not to go to the military because shit's corrupt. So I said, you know what? Let me just go home, be domestic, and do psychology with that. But then I just said no psychology because I don't like psychology that much, unless it's like there's no opportunity for psychology. So I just said fuck it.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like you do like psychology. You just don't like what you can do in the field of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. How about you?
I was a nursing major, believe it or not.
So where'd the jump come?
First clinical, man, it was awful.
Oh,
when I'm actually doing the shit I signed up for,
that's
I was
scary.
like, I'm not doing this.
That's scary, man. I feel bad. I don't even give blood. I don't even like needles, dude. They're like, oh, I just saw something that said the national blood storage of donated blood has never been lower in however many years. And I was like, they ain't getting any out of me, man.
I'm not big on needles either.
That's not. Mine.
I'll do them. I'm just.
No,
I'm fine with them. I just don't know if I could stick someone. That's also when I was like.
See, that's another thing too, where I'm like, oh my gosh, because
yeah,
I'm squeamy. What if I get a squeamy guy and we're both just? We would need to get additional help. People would need to hold me down and him down. It would not be good. It would not be good. But
yeah, I'm pretty glad I got out of that.
Okay, so then was it a logical jump then from okay, what's this?
Yeah,
what's this all
I mean,
about?
I didn't. I had the idea of going into real estate while in nursing school.
Okay.
So because my uncle's in it,
Okay.
so I kind of grabbed a drink with him, talked about it.
Nice.
Now we're here.
Nice. Kevin, in high school, you had overlapping classes. You were leaving classes halfway through to go to other classes.
Yep.
Because you had so many classes.
Yeah.
That used to stress me out. When you would come, after we would take a bunch of notes, and then you would come in and be like, "Oh, I guess I'll get those later."
I'll finish
and
these
I
up.
was like, "Oh, jeez." And then I'd be like, "How much sleep did you get last night?" And then you'd be like, "How much sleep have I gotten this week?" It's 0.
Kevin doesn't sleep.
Kevin doesn't sleep.
Nothing's
Kevin
changed,
does
man.
not sleep.
Buddy's here till 5 a.m.
Literally nothing's changed, but it's all right.
We got to get you a little cot in here or something, or a little.
A little what?
A little cot.
Oh God.
Would you think he said thought?
I thought he said cock.
Cock.
Oh.
We need to get you a little cock in here. I mean, sure, I guess.
No, a little blow up air mattress. I have to enunciate
Blow up
now.
cock.
That'd be useful. That'd be very useful.
Does it get lonely?
Erasing your mind.
From 11 till 5 a.m.?
No, that's when I thrive. I feel like.
Is it
don't know.
scary in here? I feel like it's scary.
Dude, I hear creaks all the time. We're on the top floor, but I still hear shit on the roof. I don't know, but It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Like,
because here's the thing. This is safe. I feel like it's like I feel like I'm in a Michael's in here, or like an IKEA Home Goods. I feel safe in here. But on the walk up, I mean, it's like backrooms vibes. You know what I mean? It's a little. Also, I don't know who Greeley is, but I was like, there's a little celebration for him.
Greeley? Greenleaf?
Greenleaf.
It was spelled. There was no N. It was
just Greeley. Where was that? In the front or the back?
Yeah, there was so many signs.
They must have spelled it wrong.
No, it was literally Greely. Maybe I was wrong, but literally there was like a million like balloons and signs on the walk-in, and it's funny. Each sign it kept saying, "You're getting closer. You're almost there."
And then it pointed to the bathrooms, and it just pointed straight to our office.
It pointed to the other hallway, whatever at the. What is
right
it?
down there. That's the mortgage company that we're super tight with. Yeah.
Okay.
Good people over there.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, go
They're
talk to them when you're ready to buy.
They're great. I love those guys. And they're awesome to work with, and they're really good at making signs and balloons. And
you guys have really good signs.
Yeah. I didn't mean to accidentally talk down to no, because they're great. I use them all the time for my mortgage.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't even know what a mortgage is.
Yeah.
How do you buy a house?
Exactly. I mean, and so, let me just say, like, the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, that's a mortgage.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was.
That was my stomach.
I was gonna say that sounded like a freaking cat dying.
I thought
or
it was a
something.
little kid laughing.
Yeah, it's even freakier. I'm not staying here tonight anymore.
Yeah, that's good. Speaking of ghosts and real estate, you guys watch Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. You're familiar. One of the guys in Ghost Adventures, I think, he has this documentary out called Demon House, and he was looking to try and buy the most like haunted house he could buy like in America, and he found this one that supposedly had a demon in it, and he bought it, and he stayed in the house for one night, and he said it was so scary and so spooky. It's all in the documentary. It's so scary, so spooky, he couldn't even hang. He couldn't handle it. He left, and the next week he got a bulldozer to come and knock the house down, so that way no one would ever have to live in the demon house again. And I was just so jealous of having the privilege of buying a house because you wanted it to be scary. Ghost Boy looked for a ghost, and he found one and said, "Too scary for me," and then knocked it down. Bro, I don't have a house. If I bought a house that had a demon in it on accident, I'm stuck with the demon, bro. That's a roommate, and he ain't paying for shit.
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
That's so funny.
He's flicking around lights, he's messing with our electricity bill.
Pretty sure I have a demon in my trunk right now.
Oh, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I was at a listing that I have coming up yesterday, and they were just getting rid of stuff, and it's like probably a 4-foot doll, ugly lady
Dude, no.
with a bag over her head. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. I don't know what made me want to take it,
Oh, dude.
but I took it and I
told
threw
you
it in
to
the
take
back seat, and I was like, this might look like I kidnapped someone. So I threw it in the trunk, so she's just chilling in there.
So, okay.
Jeez, dude.
That was a good move to make it look less kidnappy in the trunk. Where did you... So it was at the listing and they were giving it away? Or?
Yeah, so we're working on it. We're getting it painted and stuff, and they're just getting rid of, older people. They have a lot of old stuff.
Yes.
They're like, oh, this has been in my basement for 20, 30 years. I wasn't really thinking. I'm like, oh, I'll take it. Because it scared the crap out of me when I walked in. It was just sitting there.
it.
I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I want to
Naturally.
scare someone with it. I don't know. I'll put it in someone's, the back of someone's car or,
Oh, dude.
Jeez.
scare someone. I don't know.
What if you open your trunk and the doll's not there anymore, and then you look in your backseat and she's sitting right there?
in the back seat.
Call the cops.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. And guess what? I don't even know how you get rid of it. Because here's the thing. If I find out that, if you find out that he's, threw it in the dumpster or something, you have to get it. You have to get it and wait a couple weeks, and then put it back in, his office or something. So that way.
Oh,
Hell no. Yeah, I don't know how to get rid of it now.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got to burn it. You got to burn it, dude.
then you release the demon, and they're gonna come inside of you.
Or I'll just become friends with it.
People, you know what you could do? You could try and make some money on it. People buy haunted dolls on eBay. People sell these dolls. They say like, oh, this has the spirit of Emily. She's a little Victorian girl. And there's literally, dude, if you go on eBay and you look up haunted dolls, people sell haunted dolls that they think are haunted, and they have a little thing, a little description, and they give like a checklist on how you need to take care of it. Otherwise, they'll
We
act up.
gotta look closer into the people that are buying those.
That too. But they're selling for some decent money. You could get yourself a pretty penny for the little haunted doll.
What the hell?
And it's a big one too, right? You said it's big.
It's probably 4 feet.
That's tall. That could.
Or you just buy a glass case for it, pretend like it's super haunted, and they just have people pay to come see it.
That's good.
Like Robert the doll.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a house that's like, it's like, oh, somebody's like 4 people were killed in there, and you have to be like, no, it's that was in the 80s. It's fine now. They just got a new washer dryer unit actually. So, is there anything like what's the hardest part that's like that hangs people up about the house
Well,
besides like a murder?
I've worked with a lot of my family before, and for them, it's super, like, it's really superstitious, like, how we grew up. So everyone's asking if somebody died in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's
I'm
asking.
I'm sure. And sometimes, I feel like you don't even know.
You have no idea, and the listing agent literally doesn't need to tell you.
Exactly.
So
No.
now here I am looking up on who died yesterday.com or whatever, and I'm just trying to figure out who actually died in this house, because some people just, like...
If you
like,
ask
oh,
them, though, don't they have to tell you?
No.
I thought they did.
Well, they don't. They could just say they don't know.
I guess.
Are you? It's like are you a cop?
It's like a don't ask, don't tell type of thing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is someone dying here? You legally have to tell me if somebody died in here. You legally have to find out.
Yeah. No, but this one house I just took pictures for, I'm almost say which one. I see orbs. I see orbs. Black orbs, and white orbs.
Black orbs.
The
Oh
black
my
orbs are the
gosh.
demons,
Those
bro.
are the evil
Wait,
ones.
really?
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
They
I
showed
didn't
that.
show
I was
you?
like, oh my god.
No. You, dude, probably 5 times before you've showed me, like, oh, there's ghosts in this house. And I was like,
yeah.
why? And you're like, oh, because there's a circle. Like, you've done that so many times. I didn't know the black ones were evil.
Yeah, the
That
black
makes
ones are
sense.
terrifying. That's why I'm kind of scared to do these showings, but whatever.
Tomorrow morning, baby.
We don't know which one it is.
Well, we don't know when this was recorded because this was recording.
Oh, that's true. This was recorded in September 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah, of 2029.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Josh, for coming on.
Hey, thanks for
You
having
can follow
me.
him at Josh Bano.
On all social media platforms.
Is
Check
it
me
just
out.
Josh Bano?
Yeah, Josh Bano. Thank you very much.
Thanks so
Cool.
much for being on, Josh.
Thanks for having me, boys. Appreciate it.
Woo! We out.
You select this park where I'm at out by the lake, and this lake is